none of your business.
Hello card game nerds, Dread here. Today's video is on Hecarim and the many flavors you can build him. Today we're just going to talk about 3 because I'm too lazy. We have Midrange, piloted by Naviut, which was piloting it in Diamond, I believe, so I believe this is your best bet for later on. Swim's Aggro elusive version, which is based on dealing with those pesky control decks. And then there's the combo list with Demacia, where it's kind of a jack-of-all-trades kind of deck. First, we're going to be looking at mid-range, as I believe this is the most powerful and most consistent of them all. The power of the deck comes from a neat interaction between Ephemeral and Deathmark. What is this interaction, you say? Well, curious viewer, the interaction is Deathmark. Remove Ephemeral from an ally to grant it to an enemy. Pretty much what that means is you take an Ephemeral off of one of your units, i.e. like, for instance, Surge here, take the Ephemeral off of it, and then you give it to your opponent. It's like giving your opponent AIDS. It's hilarious. That's not the only combo you can do with it. Another interaction Deathmark has, which I don't know if it's a bug or intended, I'm going to guess it's intended as it's in the game, is you can give something the buff from Mark of the Isles, which is burst, by the way, 1 mana for +3/+3, and it grants Ephemeral, meaning when it hits something or dies, you lose the creature. Now, you can play this on a minion in the same action, by the way, because this is burst speed. You can play it alongside another action. Play it alongside Deathmark to remove the Ephemeral from the newly given Ephemeral creature and give it to one of your opponents. So pretty much what this does is it's 4 mana for 2 cards where you give a creature +3/+3 and then you give another enemy creature Ephemeral, meaning when it deals damage or when it's the end of the turn, it just dies off. So it's a targeted kill spell, kind of like delayed. Now this is very strong with creatures like, for instance, Zed, who loves buffs. Do this on Zed, he's amazing. The mulligan guide for this deck would be, for instance, just simply your creatures. As you can tell, this is a very spell-heavy list, so it's like 18 spells, I think I counted. So about half of your deck is spells. So you're going to be hard mulliganing for creatures, and you're going to be dumping creatures. Any of your Hapless Aristocrats, your Curse Keepers, your Dark Water, well, not the Dark Water. This is more matchup dependent if you're like against like aggro or whatever. If you're not against aggro, this is as good. And then, of course, you want your Deathmarks. You want your Shadow Assassins. You want your Zeds. And then, you keep your Chronicle of Ruin if you have the Curse Keeper. You'll only keep Hecarim if you're attacking on evens, meaning like when you get to your mana and you're attacking, it's an even amount of mana, meaning it goes from 2 attack, 4 attack, and then 6 attack. Hecarim's really strong the faster you can play him. The faster you can play Hecarim, the better it is. So you want to play him instantly when you have the mana for him. So that is the only time you keep him. And then against control matchups, sometimes it is wise to keep Rhasa if you believe the game is going to go for very long. Overall, I like the deck. It's very consistent. Other than the few times where you'll draw all spells, but that's worthwhile consequence to deal with later on, as it's very, very, very strong when it pops off. I believe Naviut hit Diamond, or was in Diamond with this, so it is very viable to climb with, as long as the meta is willing. I believe it was devouring control decks, the greedy ones with the Anivias up in top. I believe that's what this was aimed towards, as Deathmark is one of Shadow Isles Ionia's only ways to deal with Braum efficiently. Now, of course, I would be running 3 Deathmark, but I don't have currency because I'm poor right now, so besides that, this is a very strong deck. Now, to the next deck. Swim's Elusive Aggro, or as he calls it, Shark Chariot Aggro. I like to call it Shark Chariot Spam. This is mainly based around the combo of Shark Chariot and summoning it a million times. That's not the only thing. This deck has a lot more power involved with its plays, as you'll see soon enough, as we have a very free of Kinku Wayfinder, How strong is this? It's very strong because we have a lot of minions that are buffed as we summon things, i.e. mainly Sparring Student and Green Glade Duo, and being able to summon a bunch of 1/1s or just being able to tutor these out of our deck, in our deck, to be able to draw like our more important draws, like for instance, Hecarim, obviously, and Zed. It also buffs up all of our stuff, and it provides a lot of board presence, a lot of pressure for your opponent to deal with very quickly out of just one card. Now, it does have the allegiance. Top of your deck has to be Ionia for it to trigger, but as you can see in the upper left corner, we are running 34 out of 40 Ionia cards, so this will only whiff if your name is Dread. Me. It has twice. I guess luck isn't in my name. Mulligan guide for the deck. 1-drops. You get Inspiring Mentor in the combo with Navuri Conscriptor, keep it. You get Navuri Blade Scout, probably keep it. You get Shadow Fiend, mulligan away. You know, Sparring Student, you want that in your opener. You want Green Glade Duo in your opener. Keeper of Masks is a lot better as a top deck later on, so I would ditch this. Navori Conspirator is really good, but it's insanely good with Mentor. Usually you chuck this unless if you have a really good minion to bounce back with it, i.e. mainly either Navori Blade Scout or Inspiring Mentor, which you can also bounce back Kinku Wayfinder and play that again. Dark Chariot's like kind of iffy on whether you want to keep it in your opening hand or not. It's nice to have like one, but as soon as you have more than one, it clogs up your hand. And of course, you want to be keeping Zeds and Shadow Assassins in your hand always, as Shadow Assassin replaces itself, and Zed is a machine of terror and destruction, especially when you're attacking on odds. And of course, you keep Hecarim if you're attacking on evens. Mainly, you're just throwing away all your spells, mainly, and just playing minions. This is a very minion-focused deck. It's mainly built to deal with very greedy control matchups. My only issue with the deck is it's very susceptible to other aggro decks, like spiders, because the issue is your stuff is like really strong, but you don't really have anything to block with, so you don't have a defense. So you're going to find yourselves dying a lot versus the aggro mirror. But if it's a control-heavy mirror, this is the list for you. Alright, now to the last one. My favorite deck out of all three of these is the combo version with Demacia. And what does Demacia give you? Demacia gives you the niche little package of Haunted Relic with Remembrance. Remembrance is awesome. Get it down to like 3 mana. It's a 3 mana 5/5 most of the time on average. Or in this case, it's a 3 mana Radiant Guardian. Who wouldn't want a 3 mana Radiant Guardian, am I right? And the other times it's like a 5/4 with like Challenger or a 5/5 with Tough, which are kind of but there are games where just having that 5/5 beater is really good, especially after you've wiped your entire board to wipe your opponent's board, i.e. attacking them full. There have been multiple times where I've played Remembrance for 0 mana, and there was the one time where I played 2 Remembrances for 0 mana, and it won me the game instantly. Other combos this deck has. Haunted Relic plus Lucien. Turns out, Lucien's a very strong creature. 3/2 for 2 mana with quick attack. Sign me up. And then when he levels up, when 4 allies die, which is very easy to accomplish in this deck, he gets double attack. This turns into an 8 damage beater with Rally every single time something dies for the first time in the turn. This will win you the most games. Lucien is the carrier of the deck. If Lucien did not exist, this deck would be a lot shittier. Sure, you have like the Remembrance shenanigans, but this is the powerhouse. Also, his champion card doesn't suck. Amazing! Most of all the other champion cards suck. Like, there's a few that don't, like Heimerdinger's, for instance, like Progress Day, but most of them are trash. Like for instance, Hecarim's. Or to look at Hecarim. Hecarim's is absolute garbage. I would rather play another Hecarim. You will almost never see me use this unless if it's for lethal. Terrible champion card, most of the time. If this was like burst or fast, maybe. But slow? Nuh-uh. Other things the deck's capable of doing. It also has Phantom Prankster, which is really nice for finishing off opponents. This card has become a lot more useful of late. It's a lot more in that aristocrat-y style of guys, if you're familiar from MTG. Pretty much it benefits you for killing your own stuff, which you do a lot, turns out. Now for a mulligan guide, it's very complicated, as this is a very complicated deck to pilot and it's very skill heavy, hence why I love it so much. Now, your Curse Keeper draws. You can keep Curse Keeper and mulligan 3 other cards, and hopefully you will get one of the things that can pop open your Curse Keeper. If you have Curse Keeper with one of the things that can break open your Curse Keeper, keep it, and then mulligan the rest away probably. You see Lucien and Haunted Relic, you keep it. It's amazing. You see Remembrance in your hand. Usually you ditch everything else, try to hard mulligan for a Haunted Relic, as it's very strong when played on turn 3 or 4 or whatever. That's about it for the mulligan guide. There's not really much to it other than that. It's kind of complicated, but once you understand why. Alright guys, that was all the decks I have for you today. I want to do deck profiles on other champions, like champion-based deck profiles, because that's mainly what people are hard capped on, are champions. So I want to be able to show you guys all the options before you craft one of these cards, as it's very expensive to. But Hecarim is one of the more fun ones. It's not as consistent as like a Elise Darius Spider deck or the Elusive package, but you're sure as hell gonna have fun with it while you play with it. Alright, I believe that's all for the video. Good luck and goodbye.